Noobs news. I Today they got this big terrorist thing going on, so I went down to my son's school and I talked to the principal because I'm on the board. I said I'm going to sit outside for a couple hours just in case these morons decide to come to our school. You got 28 years in the military and pretty good military background, and I fell asleep. So I wouldn't be very good at like protecting people. I mean, of course I would, but I had to wait it on listening. And of course, we're in Michigan. It's rain. It's the fall, so it's raining as usual. I'm just so tired. So I'm gonna go home for an hour before school's out and then lay down and sleep. And what do I do? Come home, and I'm looking at all the statistics right now for what's going on in Bitcoin. And I don't know if you all know it or not, but basically the final hours are taken down for an appeal from the U.S. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, in its dispute with Grayscale Investments over establishing a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, an ETF. So if the agency doesn't do anything by midnight, that's Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. Grayscale's application to convert its GBTC fund to an ETF basically uh, returns to life. It means it's probably going to happen. So the industry observers are basically widely expecting the SEC to let the deadline run out because if it does, then if they don't, if they can contest it and they can continue it for another 45 days, hell, they can drag it out till January if they want to. I think it'll be a big deal if they decide to allow it. I don't expect it to happen. I mean, people are talking about it, but I just think it's the SEC. I don't know what Gary Gensler's thinking about. I think honestly he's in it with a lot of these billionaires, Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink and the rest of these scumballs, and I think they all play together. I think you're going to find out down the road if it's ever investigated that Gary Gensler is behind, working with these guys, buying Bitcoin, buying ETH before the ETFs are approved, so he can make a lot of money when the final approvals happen. That it's just my opinion, but I have a hard time believing that Gary Gensler is saying, well, he's just trying to protect American citizens, against these people who prey on American citizens, but yet, like I talked about before, you can buy options, excuse me, you can options trade in your E-Trade account or your Schwab account, and you can lose all your money. And I have done that through the years, frequently lost money trading options. And in fact, I think that over 90% of the options that are traded, people lose money on, but no one ever does anything about that. Um, a few years ago, several years ago, my brother and I we were in Bitcoin, which obviously I still am, but we were trying to get into different funds. They said you had to be you had to be, have it had high net worth individuals in order to be able to trade. So as a high net worth individual, I can get into exchanges and I can do trades that the average person can't. And it makes me wonder, why is that? I mean, I can get screwed out of my money just as much well as a small investor, and so they're saying that, well, since I'm a high net worth individual, I don't need to worry about the government taking care of me because I'm so smart. And that's actually not true. I'm not any smarter than anyone else. It's just what they're doing is it just goes to show you that the rich take care of the rich. People who are well off take care of the people who are well off. And I don't have a problem. I have a problem with it. Obviously, it doesn't affect me like it does a lot of people, but um, I don't think it's fair. I think if I have $100 of my own money and I want to invest into something, I don't think the Security and Exchange Commission should be the people who decide whether or not I can spend my money, or whether or not I can lose my money. I can go down and buy 100 or $1,000 of lottery tickets, or I can get online and gamble, and like at the online casinos. Michigan has the Michigan Lottery. You can do online games. I can do it all day long, and every once in a while, it'll warn you and say, "Hey, be aware of you could be losing money," and you click, yeah, I understand. They just continue to let you gamble. So when they talk about these ETFs being approved, the SEC is putting it off. I think there's more to it. I think it's bullshit that Gensler and the rest of these guys try to pretend that they care about the American people. They don't. If the government cared about American people, we wouldn't have illegal immigration. The government wouldn't be trying to destroy families and allow children to transition. I know this has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but and destroying the U.S. dollar. Our dollar is being completely raped right now. We have $194 trillion dollars in unfunded debt in this country. And just in case you guys don't know, as a matter of fact, it's $194.5 trillion dollars of unfunded debt. Every 3 seconds, we gain $3 million or $1 million in additional debt. Think about that. Every 3 seconds, we have $1 million in debt. Take your calculator out and figure out how long it takes to accumulate another $1 billion in debt. It's absolutely it's so embarrassing to know what these people are doing with our money. And unfunded debt are things like Medicare and for the military, military spending, Social Security. These are the unfunded debts. The government has not sold treasuries or whatever they need to do in order to be able to fund this because no one wants to buy this stuff. So anyway, we're doing all these things, but the government is worried about people losing a little bit of money when they're out there in the crypto sphere. I know I can lose money if I buy cryptos, and it should just be he should just say, you know what, we'll go ahead and go with ETFs. Um, if you lose money, you lose money, right? I mean that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean a lot. Most people don't care what I say, but anyway, there are different price predictions. They said Bitcoin could poise at 100,000 if the ETFs are approved. Personally, I think Bitcoin could go to 1 million in the next year and a half if the ETFs are approved. So I don't know if it gets to a quarter of a million, everybody will be happy. But um, Larry Fink right now says that he sees the spot. I lost my connection, but he sees the spot Bitcoin approvals as early as January, uh, bringing up to about $200 billion in assets. If $200 billion in assets are dumped into Bitcoin after the ETFs are approved, you're going to see $1 million Bitcoin within the next 17, 18 months. Matter of fact, if the ETFs are approved, I'm going to predict that we're going to hit $1 million Bitcoin by December of 2024. A lot of people are doing the maybe 200,000, 250,000. I'm talking about the blow off top. We're going to see between 800,000 and $1 million by the end of 2024. In fact, I might even put a reward out there. If I do, I'll do some type of a lottery poll, maybe give people $100,000 something just for fun. But anyway, yeah, Bitcoin. If they don't appeal the grayscale spot Bitcoin, the ETF ruling, um, excuse me. I've got a cold. My kids gave me a cold. The petri dish they have at the elementary school. They bring it home every year, and we suffer for a few weeks. So I've been rubbing my nose a lot in videos. I wonder if they think I'm doing drugs. I don't do drugs. I've never touched a drug in my life. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I take relatively good care of myself, but I do my best. But anyway, there's an article here on Cointelegraph says what happens if the SEC doesn't appeal grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF ruling. Okay, and they have to do it by midnight tonight. And obviously, the workday, the Fed's not sitting there, or Gensler's not sitting there until midnight tonight, getting ready to push the button and saying yes or no, right? But the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will soon reach its deadline to appeal the court decision that ruled in favor of grayscale investments, forcing the regulator to review the fund manager's application for a spot Bitcoin fund. Many observers don't believe the securities regulator will attempt to appeal the court's decision. Analysts say there still could be ways for the SEC to delay approval for the grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF. Okay. Um, so let me put this away real quick. The general consensus is that the SEC, if they attempt to deny on new grounds, something is they're trying to deny something on new grounds, it's unlikely. It's a very difficult needle to thread, basically. So the SEC is going to try and find ways to delay it. And I think, like I said, the only reason that they're trying to do that is because they want to continue loading up on Bitcoin, letting their friends load up on Bitcoin, letting the rich, accumulate more Bitcoin so they can all make money together. It has nothing to do with protecting people. It has to do with them trying to accumulate more money. I don't care what anyone says. That is the truth. Right now, the predictions are that by the end of the year, there's probably a 75% chance that there'll be an approval with the Bitcoin ETF. Okay, if they approve it in January, you dump $200 billion into the ETFs, into Bitcoin rather, in the first 3 or 4 months. You got the hard fork coming sometime in late March. We are going to see an 800,000 to $1 million Bitcoin by the end of 2024. You heard it here first. You probably didn't hear it here first. I mean, a lot of people make these predictions. They're wild, crazy predictions, but that's actually my prediction. No, most people don't know that. Oh my God. If they approve the ETF, then what'll happen is, as an example, the New York Stock Exchange has to make new filings to list like GBTC, right? So then it's possible that the SEC could take another 6 or 8 months to reach a decision on the ETF. So there's a lot of little things that are going on that allow the SEC to drag their heels and screw around. But so I think I'm not overly optimistic about ETF. Matter of fact, I'm 99% sure it's not going to get approved today. It's all part of the game. I think the approval will come at the end of the year or early January, and then we're going to see the massive Bitcoin run. So, why do we care? Because when I do my meme token videos, I'm telling people if you're screwing around with your meme tokens, if you're buying whatever you're buying and selling, when you're doing that, make sure if you sell something, put a little bit of money into Bitcoin. Ultimately your goal is to buy Bitcoin and have a little bit of money in Bitcoin. I don't care if you want a quarter of Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the future. When the dust settles, down the road, 2 to 5 years down the road, I think the majority of tokens you look at, they're going to be dead. You might have 50 tokens total. One of them is going to be Bitcoin. One's going to be Ether. There may be maybe one or two meme tokens. I doubt it because they're all garbage. But you will see some DeFi, good DeFi tokens. If you want to learn about DeFi, go over to 333 Crypto's channel. The guy is amazing. If you want to learn about meme tokens, go to Meme Coin Max and um, him and Salty, Salty Meme Smith. They have a nice Wall Street crypto YouTube channel also. Check those guys out. They do a good job. But for now, Bitcoin ETF will not get approved by midnight tonight. They're going to delay it. They're going to come up with some new things. Gary Gisler and his buddies are going to continue to accumulate more Bitcoin. Bitcoin will get approved at the end of the year, January. The fork comes in March. Money starts pouring in. December of next year, Bitcoin's 800,000 to $1 million a token. Bitcoin 800,000 to $1 million by December of 2024. Crypto Noobs, I'm out.